in a very small radius specifically. Like, anyway, adult ADHD. I had to grab the fidget to get me back on track.
Get him back.
Yo, fast forward, we end up shooting the video. Video was fantastic. We edited it in about a week. And then Mike was like, yo, we're about to upload this on YouTube. And I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. He uploads it. And I remember where I was. I was in the Bronx. I was at a bar. Yeah. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. And he texted me. He's like, yo, it's just been uploaded. And I was like, yes, this is amazing. We got a whole video. This is on YouTube. This is so cool.
It's like that simple as that now. Back then, it was like,
yo, so great. So great. And there was zero expectations. Like we didn't go into this, and not one point did we talk about, yo, we got to do this, or this is the expectation, or this is what
we got to push it. We got to push it.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. Bro, 11 o'clock, that video gets uploaded to YouTube. Get home, probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. Wake up. I look at my phone. Yo, 20,000. And I'm talking about like, I woke up at like 9 o'clock, 20,000 views. In less than, you're talking about in a span of 10 hours.
That's crazy.
On YouTube. And I'm like,
I know you was hype.
What? I was hype, but I was like, nah, something's wrong. Oh, shit. Something's wrong. And I kept closing it out, and then I would open it up, and then it would be another 5,000. Oh, shit. And then it just kept going.
Wild.
And then after that, I was like, oh, I called Mike in the morning. I'm like, yo, bro, are you seeing this? And he's like, dude, this shit is going crazy. Like, he was bugging out. He's like, yo, like, it was a legit viral fucking moment. Wow. And so at that point, like, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna start texting this to everybody. Send it to my
Might
family.
As well push that shit. Push it.
I got a 3,000 member group.
Yeah,
exactly. And by the end of the following week, we were at a couple 100,000, and that was, you talking about a couple 100,000 in 2010. It's
viral.
Huge.
For two dudes out of a neighborhood
in a week.
You hit a level already,
like,
right
that
there.
was insane.
Yeah, that was insane.
And so, like, and we say this all the time. We're like, damn, man, I wish I knew now I wish I knew then what I know now, and how I would have taken advantage of that situation.
Hell yeah.
But like, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, of course,
you know?
of course.
And so for us, it was like, all right, so what are we gonna do next? And then that led us to becoming this group of Bago O. And then it was because we didn't have a manager, but like our producer Frank was like, "What are you gonna call yourselves?" Like, and we were so creative. We were like, "How about it just Juan Bago O?" His name and then the first letter of mine, because like whatever. And it just it went, and then it was funny because then it got picked up by Univision, it got picked up by Telemundo.
I remember seeing it on MTV3.
And so that was the wildest thing too, is that this music video that came from an idea that I had in a chat room that we shot with one camera.
That's crazy.
Like,
with a laptop.
Like
to make it to all those places.
To make it to all of those platforms. But the wildest thing was the interpretation. So all of these platforms that were watching these videos, they were like starting to interpret it. And that's the beautiful thing about art. That's the beautiful thing about creativity, is that just create to create. Don't like, you can have your mind focused on what it is and why and what's inspiring you, and that's fine, but create, right? Because at the end of the day, the biggest like rewarding thing in this world, the most rewarding thing in this world, is to have other people react to what you put out into the world. Whether it's a negative reaction, a positive reaction, a lukewarm reaction.
It's a reaction.
It's a reaction.
It's being seen.
And that to me is the essence of creativity, is that you're creating so that you're making people feel. Like, don't just I don't know, man. Like I just feel like it's so important to like keep that in the back of your head. Is like, how is somebody gonna feel about this? You know, like, but don't let it get too
wrapped up
in it, right? Because you can become your worst enemy.
That's true.
It's true.
And that does happen.
You stop your creativity because
you get stuck, and I think your point of view takes a backseat if you start thinking about what other people are going to think about it. You just got to make from where you are in this moment in time that you find yourself in.
And so we took that. But it's all facts. It's all facts. But it led us to start shooting other stuff, and we were like, yo, I think we have a lane here of being the new age Milli Vanillis, but doing it in a comedic way. Like we not gonna take we not taking ourselves.
Yo,
serious,
but hold up,
you know?
I heard was Khalifa text about it or some shit like that.
Really?
He referenced, and that was a dope moment. Was like there was an interview that they were doing with Wiz at the time. I forgot what channel it was, whether it was MTV, Fuse, or whatever. But they had mentioned to Wiz like, hey, like how do you feel about all these remixes that are coming out? And he mentioned, he's like, yeah, there's a Spanish one that's out there. It's pretty dope. And I was like, didn't mention us at all. It could have been a remix from like Colombia. And like,
that's hilarious.
But like, we were like, nah, yo, he's talking about us. But back to what I was saying is like, yo, the interpretation that people were going with it. They were like, so Univision, when they did the interview, like the whole setup to it was these two Dominicans from the neighborhood talking about, you know, bread and cheese because times are
poverty.
Because times
are hard.
It was a Spanish.
I
knew they were gonna go that route. I knew they was gonna go that route.
In this neighborhood where there's poverty, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and something as simple as bread and cheese and a coffee can change your entire day.
Yo, I had a feeling that I never saw that one, but I had a feeling that that's the route that they were going with.
And then the wild thing was that like it wasn't just them, because you started seeing some of the comments, and it started getting like real socio-political, and it was like,
wow,
nigga, we was just out here running, like we was just running around.
I just like Paco Queso, bro.
Yeah, we was just talking about this quick little breakfast that you get up at a bodega, you know?
Like, damn, bro.
But it just goes to show, like, yo, so many things can resonate with people in so many different ways, because that bread and cheese and that cafecito, that triggers a lot of people to remember those times that when they were with their mom or their dad walking to school, and before school they went to the bodega or they went to the bakery, and their dad got a coffee and they got a bread and cheese and they split it as they walked to school. Like something as visual as that, it takes you back, like, oh my God, you know, like this so simple. It's so simple. Anyway, so that led us to start making a bunch of other videos. We ended up shooting and recording about 13 videos. Out of those 13 videos, 7 of them got picked up and were syndicated on Music Choice, on MTV Tres, on Mundos, on MTV.
Awesome.
Damn.
So that was dope.
That's a good record.
No, man.
That was 7 out of 12.
Do you have like a little plaque that?
Yeah, right.
Nah. We like on YouTube. If you look it up, you can see the watermark from a lot of it. Because people were burning the. So this is what ends up happening, and you kind of mentioned it before. So we doing this shit out of fuck it, right? Like we kind of just doing this shit. We not taking into account licensing. We not taking into account none of this shit. We really just taking regular songs,
regular beats, and just throwing it out there. Oh wow!
So then the second one that we did, the second video was Dominis in the Heights. My favorite song, favorite video ever. It was amazing. We had Lin-Manuel in it. And that was the thing. Like Mike has so many connections that it was very easy to get, you know, people to come and make a cameo or like get a random ambulance truck to be in this video, even though that's completely against the law. Like he was able to make those things happen. But that video, which was Dominis in the Heights, was that was Jay-Z and Kanye's Niggas in Paris. So we did that.
Oh yeah.
I remember that track.
Bro. Now, we had a lot of fun with that. We had so much fun with that video, and so much fun because we were like, all right, if we could do this, let's really get in the lab now and start really plotting this shit out and talk about how we're going to make this video. And so, because I had already dressed us for the pan con queso, I then became the person that like wardrobe. Yeah. I'm doing wardrobe for everybody.
Now you
I'm
wardrobe.
doing costume. I'm doing all that shit.
Funny.
And so we did it. It was super fun. It was great. We upload the video, and then it hits 20,000 within, I think, the first like week or 2 weeks or some shit like that. And then it stopped.
Oh, you're like, fuck.
They clipped them. Y'all.
And then I'm like, yo, I'm panicking. I'm like, yo, Mike, what's going on? Like, it's been a few days, and it's just been stuck in the streets.
Are we cooling down?
I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? And then we both got those like on the YouTube account like, hey, this is being taken down because of copyright infringement. And we were like, what the fuck?
But it's a parody, no?
But you don't change the actual
I see.
And so then, after that second video is when we realized, and talking about still 2010, I was like, yo, we gotta do something to the music. We either gotta slow down the pitch or speed it up so that it doesn't catch. Because then I started watching videos about licensing on YouTube. And I was like, all right, if we don't want this system, YouTube system, to catch the beat because that's what they're tracking, then you gotta like either do something to manipulate the track a little bit, right? So we started slowing down the tracks. But like slow it down by like a little bit, not even so much that it still sounds the same, you know? But to the computer, it will throw them off. Anyway, we started doing that with all the other ones. But yeah, man, I mean, we did it for a few years. I want to say it was like 3 years. So
that was the workaround for you guys.
That was the workaround
to get by and copyright infringement.
And that could make it
machines.
Ingenuity to its finest.
So you just tweaking something on the beat, just slightly lowering it down. That nobody could come after you after that?
Like you didn't get any letters from lawyers?
So unless he's making money off of it.
And we weren't monetizing.
But if you're making money off of it, then they'll come after you.
They'll come after you.
But
even if you tweak it a little bit. Yeah, okay.
We weren't monetizing anything. It was just, that's the thing, like they can just stop
it. Yeah.
Stop it from
how many views it capped on Pan Con Queso?
So Pan Con Queso, after a year, we ended up hitting 1 million. We ended up hitting 1 million within the first year.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that was a major accolade.
Yeah, pop open the Prosecco.
I popped open a bottle because I had 200 views the other day.
That's great.
That's a win.
That's a win.
I was like, oh shit. Season 2, 200 views.
I was at work at my office and I looked at it. I was at work at my office and I looked at it and all I did was, I'm on my way. I'm home. She said 2:05.
I'm about to text my supervisor right now. I'm not coming in. I'm done. I'm not coming in.
Take this as my final notice.
This nigga said 1 million.
Word up. Fucking million.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
You gotta celebrate the wins.
Oh man.
You gotta celebrate all wins. All
so
wins.
yes, 200 and 1 million.
And congratulations on
Thank
that.
you for the support.
That shit got us mad hype. But you don't get a plaque when you hit 1 million, or you gotta subscribe.
No.
Are you gonna make a plaque for the 200?
I don't remember. I don't. So I do remember. Because once we hit that 1 million, I was like, all right, when is the money coming in?
That's what I would have thought.
So like now this is where the money comes in. And then we started doing more research and it was like, nah.
Subscribers.
No, because again, this is 2010. This is before a lot of those rules even existed.
Monetization.
They didn't. Yeah, monetization wasn't
even
even
an industry.
Yeah. So what
it was like, yo, it's my deal.
Yeah. So in order to make money at that time on YouTube, you needed to have multiple videos that had hit over 1 million.
Oh my god!
So it has to be a consistent, not just one. Now today, if you do that, which is wild to me, because like, yo, you got a rapper from Bumblefuck Staten Island drop one fucking track that is wild. It blows. That's it. Like off of one track, he's on. You know,
he bought his first house.
Yeah, exactly. That's all shit. Yeah.
So again, it was very much the Wild West. I say it very confidently, like, yo, Mike and I were viral fucking like local influencer celebrities before that was a thing.
Yeah,
man. And
prototype right here.
It was so dope because, you know, at the time I'm like 20, 25, 26 years old, and like I'm in this neighborhood where I was born and I went to school, and you know, like I had moved away, but I still my grandmother, my aunt still live here, so I have that connection. I'm still here all the time, and to walk around this neighborhood I had already moved back to the Heights at that point. To walk around my neighborhood and like, yo, everybody like. No, they know you, bro. It's weird. Like it's like you really be walking down the block and somebody's like, "Yo, Paco Queso, bro." I was in City Island, bro. City Island at Seafood City, the ghettoest place in the world, bro.
The one all the way in the back, right?
Bro, all the way. Yo, I'm there and I'm getting my little Henny Colada. I'm at this little tiki bar
right now,
in the back, and then these three dudes, they're like, "Yo," and I'm like, "Oh shit, man,
shit about to pop off."
Because it's Food City, nigga. I was expecting a trade to like come my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. Fuck. But he was like, yo, bro, you from Bago O Queso? I want to buy you a drink. I was like, okay.
I'll take that.
But then the wild shit, and it's funny because you asked me when I was talking about the Univision thing, you were like, yo, was it an English or a Spanish interview? I was talking about it in English. Now, this is the thing. If you follow Bago O, you follow all those music videos, it's all in Spanish. It's all in Spanish. I'm 100% Dominican. I speak Spanish. Yo me defiendo, right? Like I can have a conversation with you.
Anytime a nigga hits you with me defiendo, porque tú sabes, you know, like, pero
yeah. Now when you got a lot of like Dominican, because remember, Bago O Queso came out when Waragatubitus Berry came out, when Plátano con Salami, like all of these joints were coming out at the same exact time.
I forgot about that.
So and you guys know Mike. Mike is also 100% Dominican.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Ni una palabra en
español. Now, you won't, right? But it's so interesting because he still connects to that audience very, very well. So I started getting, oh my God. Like, I would have people from DR or even family, like they would start talking to me like, yo, perform this. And I'm like,
that came out.
Fuck.
Like,
yo no hago eso.
Family parties. Perform this.
Mamá, así no es que funciona. No. Tú sabes que yo pero tú eres Hollywood.
Es que me duele la garganta mucho hoy y estoy tomando té para que se me alivie.
Es que no me siento bien.
Every family party.
Tú le bailas de una vez.
Pero enséñalo. Me encanta. A la cosa. Yeah, man. So and then it's hard to like, and it wasn't that we never kept it a secret that we were like that we would just
nigga, you hit 1 million views. It wasn't
a secret. Even in the information or whatever, we put everything, like who was doing what. We always wanted to make sure that was very clear from the get, because the fact of the matter is, when you see a video and you see two dudes, you think only about those two dudes.
Right, because that's what
but there is a whole team,
behind
100%,
it.
Yeah.
And Mike and I were so big, and still to this day is about giving people their credit and giving people their props.
Absolutely.
And also just supporting our friends. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been about that. So it gets a little weird though at a certain point, because when brands start calling you and they just want you to, and they don't want everybody else.
You got a whole squad.
And it becomes, and I don't know if Mike ever went that deep with you guys on like the downfall of Bago O after all the, but it wasn't because me and him had a falling out or anything like that. It was because we started to try to get very professional with what we were doing. We got people to manage us.
And how was that experience?
Because you had like lip singing concerts.
I'm always
and shit,
curious
right?
about that.
We performed twice.
So what the fuck this manager do?
No, well, it was to find those opportunities for us, but also to find brand opportunities for us.
Where y'all performed at?
At Museo del Barrio, we performed.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, so we opened up for Nina Sky. At
Oh,
Museo del Barrio.
Nina Sky?
Yeah, and that was a big
cool.
deal, bro.
Yeah. I'm fangirling over
Nina
here.
Sky at the time was big though.
Yeah.
That's
It's so funny. From Mike and I were like,
at the club.
yo, we
No,
really
I don't
gonna
think
have
that's
to-
dumb.
Nah, you think of a Lumidee.
That's
Oh,
Lumidee.
shit.
Yeah,
No, I mean, they're like,
but that's
same
that's
genre.
around the same time.
Around the
Same
same
time,
time.
what
bro.
was Same songs.
Give me Nina Sky, because they ended up being DJs. No,
Yeah.
Let me look up
But
her-
are they DJs now?
They're DJs now.
well,
Yeah.
It's gonna fuck with me. I don't remember
I'll
this
look it up.
song.
I'll look it up.
So
Damn, yeah, got me.
So we knew that performance was coming, and we were like, shit, we really got to perform on stage.
Word.
We really got to do
Lip
something
sync
now.
that whole shit.
Yeah, so
Oye mi canto.
Oye mi
Move your
canto.
body.
Yeah.
With Tego Calderón.
Yeah.
So then Mike and I were like, all right, well, we gonna have to rehearse, and we started rehearsing. Like we started performing. We would act like when we did that whole thing, that was us actually like performing it. And the wildest thing is that we don't sound like Anthony. We don't sound like Jeff. We sound completely different. So we were like, yo, let's not focus on the song, on the words. just focus on the movement.
On the movement.
Exactly. And looking good and acting it out, you know, and so that we really kind of focused on that. And so then there was another performance that happened, and I actually couldn't be there. At spot downtown.
He subbed you in.
He had to. Yeah, no. They had to sub me in. Unfortunately, it was my grandmother had passed away, so I was like, damn, this is great, but I can't be there, you know. So Jerry.
He subbed you in with another brown dude.
Yeah, he subbed me in for the other brown Dominican, which happened to be his cousin, Jerry. Motherfucker. Shout out to Jerry, man. And that was a cool performance, and it was downtown. Where does Hot 97? They usually have they do all their like first come like open mic joints downtown by their offices. Oh, what's the name of that
I
spot?
remember. I know what you're talking about. I don't recall from.
Anyway, it's a really popular, like, it's a well-known spot. SOBs.
There you go.
SOBs.
Like, and the neurons had to come.
It was SOBs.
Neurons.
So it was a performance at SOBs.
It's like
I
forgot what street, but
Warren
or some shit.
He ended up having these two girls dress up like cafecitos, like cups. Like literally costumes,
like a mascot costume.
Yeah. And then as him and Jerry performed,
like a Greca,
no,
like
coffee cup. Like a coffee cup.
Oh no way!
Like
with the handle.
Yeah, they were dressed. These two girls were dressed in these like coffee cup.
Oh my god!
Costumes.
But like the blue cup.
Yeah, the blue cup.
The fucking to-go cup, like
that cup.
Got him.
It was someone's job
from the world's best coffee shop.
Yeah. It was someone's job to go find those costumes for them.
He brought production in there.
I know. Yeah.
So those were the two times that we ended up kind of performing or whatever. But
you didn't perform on that one.
That one I didn't perform. But then after that, about a year after we had dropped Pan con Queso and we were still making videos or whatever, we ended up getting a deal with Pepsi.
No way.
So we got
his manager did his thing then.
No.
That wasn't the manager?
No, agent.
That was through personal connections.
Oh shit! I know, but not even then.
Yeah. Well, then there lies the problem. The problem was that between Mike and myself, we actually had a lot of connections in the industry, and so as we were putting these videos out, and a lot of the folks that I was texting were people who were already in the industry working at larger brands, just because like I happen to know them. Mike has built relationships over X amount of years. So they've been seeing this stuff and they're keeping track with it. We get reached out to by Pepsi. We end up doing a deal with them for about a year, and we signed with them to basically travel the country for Brisk Iced Tea. What? So there was a campaign that they were doing called Brisk Bodega. And so it was all about like bringing back, like popularizing Brisk again, iced tea and all that shit, but under this guise of a bodega, right? The thing is that bodegas are synonymous to New York. There's you go anywhere else.
There's no concept of
bodega. That's a corner store. You know what I'm saying?
You got gas stations out
right?
Convenience stores.
Convenience stores. Yeah. So it was interesting. You taking this dynamic, this very New York thing, and then trying to replicate it in different markets across the country. So we ended up signing with them. We traveled all around the country for about a year. And we went to Chicago, we went to Texas, to Houston, Texas, Miami, to LA, here in New York, and we basically would do these like deep dive videos on the cities for a whole day, and we would stop at like different like creative small businesses, talk to them, they would tell us about like their pride about, you know, whatever, where they're from. And then at night there was a big show and a big concert, a big event that would happen that Pepsi and Brisk was hosting, and it was a lot of up and coming folks from those areas. So, you know, like I got to meet, when we were in LA, I got to meet Casey Veggies, who back in the day, like he was one of those up and coming rappers, you know, like he was whatever. You don't hear a lot about him now, but like he was an up and coming rapper, you know, like, and so like we were on stage introducing all of these acts, and there were like 300, 400, 500 people that were there, and these were indoor venues, outdoor venues, and so Mike has never done this before, but I had been doing it, you know.
That's how you gotta
I've
do
been
it.
on the cover of Sears catalog.
You know what I'm saying? What you talk about?
Let me show you a thing or two.
Get on my level, baby.
And so it was interesting because it was for those who knew Mike at that point, and I'm sure he'll say it too, like Mike was he was shy, like to be in front of that many people and like have to like act out. Like
it's intimidating.
It can be. And so this is what I was saying. It goes back. Like it wasn't until a couple of years later that I was like, because even when I was on stage with Mike and I'd be like, yo, it's easy, bro. Come on. Like just
be yourself, bro.
Yo. Like
it's easy to say
own that. Yeah. Go on that stage and nobody's fucking with you and like just go. And I realized real quickly that like it wasn't just go. You know what I'm saying? So and he started referencing a lot of the stuff that I would do on stage.
But this was after performing the song, though,
right? He just took it.
During the same time. During the same time.
When y'all performed for Nina Sky, he was
nervous.
Performance easier though.
Nah, we was both nervous because we were like, damn, I'm getting winded after every verse here. Like, I don't know how they doing this shit. You know, like it was tough, but he started getting real comfortable with it. I was super comfortable with it. We just got exposed to some amazing opportunities, and we just did a lot of really dope shit. You know, not a lot of people could say, "Yo, at 27, I was traveling."
That's fire.
And again, it's like everything's paid for. You
can You on tour, basically,
doing all that shit.
And you're getting paid.
Yeah. And so the eclipse of it all happened.
It's like they jacking my swag. There's a fucking agent that's collecting 10%. That nigga has not put one and one together.
Your manager or agent, whatever. Yeah. What race were they?
They were Spanish. Everybody was.
Oh
Spanish.
yeah. Okay.
But things just got a little. Things got a little.
There are only white agents in my field. So I'm surprised there are Spanish agents.
But see, this is the thing.
The thing is that he's an urban.
Yes. I mean, Fitra. So a bunch of Jewish agents.
I mean, I would trust a Jewish agent before I would trust a Dominican agent. No shade on the Dominicans out there, but. I don't know. I want to see the money. So that's the thing, man. Like
at least I see some of it.
So we were doing all this stuff. We ended up hosting for Pepsi the Latin Billboards. So they flew us out to Miami, and we were the official host for the Latin Billboards out there, and that was a wild experience too because we got there and they had cameras on us literally from the moment that we got out of the cab from the airport. So they were recording us it was like a day in the life, you know, like following us to our rooms. We change, then we go to this little lobby area where it was nothing but just famous fucking Latinos. Like
that was wild.
Don Omar, Prince Royce, Johnny Marines, who
Romeo from Aventura had to be there, right?
Well, he wasn't there, but some of the other guys were.
Was J-Lo there?
No, J-Lo. Those kind of talent don't mingle like that. That's a different. Well, you're talking about the B list of the Latino artists and shit like that.
The ones that don't get invited to the Academy.
The ones that you be like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yo, you saw who's here? I've seen that guy before.
I see that guy.
But yeah, so we're in this kind of lounge area in this hotel, and we're like, yo, we gotta just randomly go interview people, yo, and so we were just interviewing Johnny Marines. We were interviewing the head of Universal Music, this guy named Gustavo who runs all the Latino stuff for all of Universal Music, and I was like, yo, how could we get a deal? And he was like, you gotta jump in this pool right now. It was a rooftop pool, and I was like, all right, fuck it. And I jumped into this rooftop pool. Nobody was in the pool. Everybody was just casually chilling around the pool, hanging out normal. And this one brown nigga just from the heights,
one Dominican,
ruins everything, jumps in the pool. And I'm like, are we signed yet?
Hey, whatever it takes, bro. Whatever it takes.
The wildest part about that situation right then and there was right before that happened, I'm on this rooftop at this hotel, and I get a phone call, and it was my boss. Because at the time, I'm doing all of this stuff, and I'm still working a corporate job.
I'm working. You're working?
Yeah, I'm working a corporate job.
What was the corporate job at the time?
I was a sales assistant in ad sales for Telemundo.
Okay.
So I worked at NBC Universal, shirt and tie, all this shit. None of those people knew, or they just were like, "Oh, that's cute." You know,
like, él está jugando con su amiguito.
Yeah. They didn't really care. And so the opportunity to do the Latin Billboards literally came up, I want to say a week before the Latin Billboards. And that's how these things happen. It's they're very last minute, yo, we got this idea, we want you out there. All right, cool. told my boss, I was like, hey, I gotta call out.
I got a gig.
I gotta call out for a few days. And my boss, my direct manager at the time said, well, you're gonna have to talk to the VP because I'm not gonna approve you doing this. At that time, I also hated that job. I hated that job.
Jesus Christ.
That was
like, nigga, I'm going to the Latin Billboards.
Like, God damn.
Show some love.
That was and that was an interesting time too, because it was, you know, a lot of us have had jobs where you're like, damn, I hate this job. This job sucks, yo. That job sucked. Like, I hated that job. Like, and no shade to anybody I worked with or anything like that. It was just like, I realized then and there that like being in a very stuffy corporate environment was not where I was supposed to be. And just the micromanaging and all that other shit, it wasn't. I didn't fit in. Like yo, it was so wild to me that I'm like, I'm working at Telemundo and I don't fit in.
Wow, damn, Jesus.
And again, like what I was saying before, like being Dominican, like 100% Dominican, and like I don't feel comfortable having a whole conversation with you in Spanish because like whatever, it is what it is. So I've already felt that in the back of my, like, I'm not Dominican enough to be in this Dominican club. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm always those were the tricklings of what we call imposter syndrome kind of starting to like rear its head early on, right?
No shit.
And so I was like, all right, man. Fuck it, man. I went to the VP. I told him, I was like, listen, I got this opportunity and it's only 2 days, you know? And he was like, no.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
He was like, you can't do that.
They need to sell ads that bad.
And then I was like, all right. And then I called out sick. And I called out sick and I went to Miami.
Those be the worst.
Well, at least
some niggas know, man.
If you have the days, it's valid.
Yeah, but those fucking haters.
Yeah.
The powers that be.
They'll try to shit on you.
Here's the thing. Again, I was working at Telemundo. And I was at the Latin Billboards.
Oh shit! So they're gonna be there.
So the reporter was like, "They're gonna be there, Oscar."
So
I heard you're not feeling well.
So I walk out onto this rooftop.
Oh hell no!
I'm there for like maybe 10 minutes, and my phone starts ringing.
Yo, don't tell me that when you jumped in
the pool.
Somebody filmed you and sent it to the VP. It was after the phone call was when I said, "Fuck it, I'm jumping in the pool."
I bet.
It was the SVP, the big boss. He's like, Oscar, am I looking at you right now on this rooftop here in Miami?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, my God.
And he was in a hotel across the street.
He wasn't invited.
On a rooftop.
Fucking
at another party. And
he was in another party.
And he calls me. He's like, I'm looking at you right now. And he's like, is that you? And I was like,
why?
I'd
have been like, no. Why are you wet?
Not me.
Yo.
It just came out the pool.
And right then and there, he's like, listen, when we get back, we're going to have a serious conversation.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, yeah, we are. And the call right there. And I was like, at that point, I was like, yo, fuck it. I'm already fucked. Like, let me just fucking enjoy this shit now.
Yeah.
So you're like, yo, my man, I need this deal.
Yeah, now I'm gonna jump in this pool. Right? What else you need me to do? Because I'll do it. Say it. Yeah, man.
Shit.
So anyway, the point is, yo, we got to do some amazing things. A lot of awesome experiences.
So wait, why didn't he give you the deal though?
Ah, man, come on.
He was just pulling your leg?
Yeah, he was bullshit.
He gave me his number. He never picked up.
Yeah.
One of those.
What's his name?
Nah, we're not gonna do
Universal in charge of Latino music.
She's like, I'm about to go on LinkedIn and check this out right now.
Gustavo.
Damn, she remembered all the names. I'm trying to play it off now like I didn't say the name already.
Damn you, Gustavo.
She picked up that quick. That's a Gustavo.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like a Gustavo.
Yeah. So I've definitely gone off on a wild tangent and talked about this story way longer than it needed to.
No. You know what it is? I'm looking at the time and I'm like, yo, we're at over hour 47.
Wait, hour 47?
Damn.
And my man over here walked in saying, yo, I got nothing to talk about.
I've seen all the guests before. I don't got that this is the longest we've been.
This is literally my problem on my podcast is that we end up recording for like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know how to shut up. And again, the adult 88 is because I didn't have a fidget. If I had a fidget, maybe I could have controlled myself a little bit more.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so with that said, we'll transition into our last segment, which is called Last Call for Words. Last call for words. My brother, Dre Drizzo. We've been here rocking, laughing.
Woo. It's been a very interesting conversation. I got a lot of laugh, a lot of insight. Shit was good.
Yo, now, I don't want you to think that, if we don't hit these million views.
You going in. Already at 200. I was already saying in my office, I made it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Keep your comments to yourself.
I made it.
About expectations.
I said just
making sure we're still on that level.
205. I'm on my way, man.
It could be 210 right now.
That's right, man. Yeah. I check it every morning.
Wanted to make sure we were censored.
We good. Trust me, we good.
What would be your last call for words?
Well, for my brother, man, he inspired me, bro. Because coming from one idea, Panko Queso, text one other man, and that shit to blow up to 1 million views and touring with Pepsi and all that, bro. I say when you get an idea and you feel that shit in your gut, hit the people that you think that can make it happen with you, and just run with it, man, and make shit happen.
I liked it.
That was great. Yeah.
My brother.
You didn't even have to prepare for that. Like, that really just rolled off. That was great.
I've been preparing for the last half an hour.
Now this man.
Ever since I heard your story, I'm like, got it.
Got my takeaway. Done.
This man right here, when he came onto the podcast, he was like, I don't know how to speak in front of people. Like, I don't know how to do this. He's over here speaking as if he's like been on radio for the last 2 decades.
They both changed me. Lady H and Roger, they both changed my life. I'm telling you.
I know, right? So eloquent.
I appreciate you, lady. I appreciate you.
Yo, my brother, man. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor having you on deck.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yo, the accolades that you just dropped on us not only solidify that you are phenomenal, as I always have thought and known you to be, but yo, my man, nigga, you are the truth, bro.
For real, bro. Oh, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I'm not even gonna try to be like, nah, that's not true. It's not because I believe it. It's just because, when somebody gives you your flowers, you should just take them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think what I want to say is two things. One is speak things into existence. If you really believe in something, or if there's something that, like Dre was saying, if there's something in your gut, just do it. Just go and do it. Don't let anything stop you. Just go and do it, even if it sounds crazy. Speak it into existence. If it's a bigger thing, just keep talking about it, and it'll manifest over time. And honestly, look, it's. I feel like I've manifested a lot of the things that I've had that have happened to me in my career, in my life, and all of that stuff. So I will continue to do that. But everyone should manifest as much as possible. It is a very strong and powerful tool that I think a lot of us have, and we don't realize how powerful we are. The second thing I would say, I know I was only supposed to say one, but the second thing that I would say, this has been my mantra for a while now. And I think, Ron, you've heard me say this multiple times as well, and I kind of wake up and I do things, whether it's career, professional, giving advice, whatever. It's be comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Put yourself in situations where you know you're not going to succeed. Do it. Because that's the only way that you're going to learn. And the only way that you're going to learn is if you try. And if you don't try, then you ain't going to...
You're stuck.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen. So you have to put yourself in situations that are going to better yourself. If you don't understand something, go watch a video and then attempt it. I feel like Ron is a perfect example.
Hell yeah.
Oh
Literally every
Yes.
single thing that you guys have built here. And I do want to say thank you so much. Number one, Ron, thank you so much for having me and for asking me to be on the show. I did, for many weeks now, say to myself, why the hell does Ron want me on this show?
You had a great story, bro.
I don't know what I'm going to say.
Had an amazing story, yo.
But I do want to say thank you. What you guys have created, Dre, Lady H, what you guys have created here is really, really awesome. You make people feel very comfortable to have these conversations. And
Appreciate it.
You're taking those nuggets out through the conversation. It doesn't feel forced. So you're providing an amazing resource out there. So thank you so much for having me, man.
Appreciate
for real.
Thank you for coming.
I knew, the minute that it was so funny, Ron, when I met you, I probably met you again because I feel like we probably
we
met
definitely crossed paths
at another point of our lives. But when I met you again at Viernes Social at the Chop House, there is an energy, and there is an energy that people have, and I feel like even as men, going back to that whole like masculinity shit or whatever, you can have energy with other people. It doesn't have to be with a female. It could be with a man, and it could be whoever. And just their energy, if you vibe off of that, keep building and keep going, because there's a reason that's there, so like explore it and see what happens, and be okay with failing fast, because again, the same thing, you got to get uncomfortable with certain situations you don't know, and if you fail, that's fine, because you're going to learn from that failure. But either way, like, don't take any conversation or any relationship for granted. These are important. We had one conversation, and from that conversation that we had at the Chop House, I then hit you up and was like, yo, I think we can work together and do something together. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but like I think we should do something. Let's go. Yeah. And it's very rare when you find other people that have that same like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Let's just do it. And I think you also just need people like that in your life to help you get over certain humps,
Absolutely.
So I do want to say thank you for being you. Thank you for challenging people to be the better version of themselves, because I've seen you do it. And yeah, man, get comfortable being uncomfortable, people.
Absolutely. Word up.
Appreciate you, bro. The wonderful, lovely, honorable Lady H.
You do want to see people be their best selves, Ron. You do. And that's something I love about you. And that's, you like fight for that, or fight isn't the right word, but you strive for that so much. You see everyone in the best potential light of themselves. And I think that's a really wonderful quality that you have. Thank you for sharing your blueprint. That was really great. Thank you. And I want to stay for the next part of your blueprint. but that may be at another point. And what I took away from this conversation, and what I want to share, and that where others listening to take away from it, was the point of view. And to remember your point of view, and to remove yourself, which is tied to letting go of your fear of failure, one's fear of failure, of letting go of what other people think of us and what other people's expectations are of us. Because at the end of the day, we have to sit with ourselves and be happy with ourselves and the choices that we made. So as individuals. So I want to just point that out and remember it and carry it with me in my work and in our work.
Yes. These takeaways deep, man.
Yo, what the fuck am I gonna say now?
Yeah, how you gonna top that?
Oh shit.
No pressure.
Should have thought about it half an hour
ago. When I took on this challenge of going down this podcasting route, it was to have genuine conversations with people that I think are just dope, are phenomenal people. And, listening to everyone's blueprint always gives me an insight into that there is no one size fits all for any of this.
Yeah.
However, there is always the trend that I've noticed is there's always this one constant of being consistent and wanting to pursue whatever it is that you wish to do. At least whether it's creativity, whether it's self-growth, whether it's, activism, anything. It's just consistency. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be fucking right. Just going after it. Just that action. And whether the reaction is a negative one, that's fine. And continue growing. Because the one thing that I'm hoping to be true, which I don't know yet, but what I've seen in many other realms, in many other people's realities, is that there will always be a lot more no's than yeses. And all we need is one yes to change our whole motherfucking entire life. Mm-hmm. Hearing, the backstories and learning the backstories of that one defining moment of, or in people's lives is always, so exciting, because hearing your story regarding going from fuck the million views, you know, waking up one day and seeing 20,000 views, and you're like, yo, this is crazy. but then even before that, just the action, the simple action of hitting, we just uploaded a video on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That in itself is at its core
the exciting part.
That's like,
that's the part.
That part, because what we can now once you've seen the accolades and you've done the red carpet walks and you've met the Billboard people and you've done all that, had you not started with that one motherfucking action, none of the other stuff would have happened. And it all just kind of ties in with reminding yourself, yes, you know, I do encourage people to be their best them. And because I'm like, yo, so what if you fucking don't reach for the stars? Let's at least go for let's hit the moon. Let's get out of this fucking world, period. And let's be ourselves. Because the one thing I do know is if we don't fucking try, nothing will happen.
That's straight up.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Facts.
And what's the worst that can happen? Yo, you get teased. Your aunt will say, yo, tú no has hecho nada con tu vida. Like, yo, that, you know, these are realities too, but, you know, all that shit is just fucking your ego.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And that, you know what, though? Another thing, too, and I know we're supposed to be wrapping up now, but, yo, support your friends, man.
Yeah.
Yo, support your people. And I think that, and it happens a lot, right, where we get caught up in, like, yo, but how is this gonna make money?
Yeah.
How we gonna make money?
Up. Yeah.
I like how am I gonna get this piece of change out of whatever it is this time I'm investing over here? And a lot of things is that it's not. Some things are not going to make money, and you need to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like,
I hit 1 million views. Where's my paycheck?
Like, you need to be completely okay with that. And there are gonna be, and you have to also understand that there are gonna be people that are wholeheartedly, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. That's not a good mentality to have, because you end up sidelining so many different opportunities that like could have led to something bigger and better. Yep. You know, like you can be working for free pro bono for about a year, but like Ron said, all it takes is that one.
Yeah.
And that one to get in front of somebody's eyes that will be like, I need this.
Yeah.
I need that. Yo, like, and I'm so sorry, and I'm gonna just say it anyway because like, yo, like, and as we were talking, I'm like, yo, I left out another fucking big chunk right here. Even before the film festival, and I remember I was like, yo, I've been in front of the camera. The biggest thing that I did right after college was I ended up doing a music video for an artist by the name of Aloe Blacc.
Oh, Aloe Blacc.
Shit, yeah.
So at the time, there was a big show on HBO that was called How to Make It in America.
Yeah.
I loved that
show.
And
I Need a Dollar track was the theme song.
And I watched that show religiously because it was about two dudes here in New York trying to make it, starting a clothing brand, and they're regular dudes, whatever, Spanish dude and a white dude. And it was about that like Soho kind of downtown kind of culture. And I loved everything about it, you know. Luis Guzman was in it, Rasta Monster. Anyway, it was just a really dope. It was just a really well put together.
I like
show.
the insurance part.
Oh, yeah. I remember this show. Yeah.
and so, as you were saying, Aloe Blacc had a song called "I Need a Dollar." That was the theme song of the show. Now, my mentor, his cousin went to college with the writer. They shared the same room and all of the show, and so he had that connection to the show, and on top of that, he had a connection to his best friend who had started a production company. Brand new, hadn't shot anything. The first thing he shot was the music video for I Need a Dollar for Aloe Blacc.
No way.
So my mentor calls me. He's like, yo, can you and Eric's my best friend. He's like, yo, can you guys come? We're going to shoot this video. Like, can you come? Eric is going to be the main guy. And he's like, yo, just come and like support him or whatever. And Eric was like, yo, come. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go. Like, what else am I going to do? I get to see my boy do this video for this song and this show. Like, that's huge. I'm over here thinking it's going to be big fucking set and all that. we shot it in Harlem. We go to Harlem. We go to a brownstone in Harlem. It was the director. His name was Khalil. It was his dad's brownstone. And there's no big crews. 2 cameras. A bunch of niggas. Aloe Blacc. and like I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm here for it. And so my boy Eric, he's a little bit bigger than me. I don't know why I did this. But he's a little bit bigger than me, a little broader, a little taller. And so when we did the fitting, when we got there, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. We did the fitting in the brownstone, and he comes out of the bathroom. They're like, oh, they start muttering. You know when they do that? I don't know if y'all ever seen this, but like,
whispering.
Yo, when they're on set, they cover their mouths. And then one of the producers, he comes over. He's like, yo, you're a little too big. You're too big for the character that we want you to play. And they look at me. They were like, yo, you mind standing up? The one time it's cool for me to be short. You know what I'm a short guy. I'm 5'9", 5'8", 5'9", whatever. Who's counting centimeters and shit? So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. And they were like, you're the perfect height. So then they asked Eric, like, yo, do you mind if we switch and we make him the main character? And so he was like, nah, I'm good with it. Fuck it. And so we ended up shooting this music video for Aloe Blacc for I Need a Dollar.
No way, you're in that video?
I'm the main guy.
I'm gonna fucking play that shit right now.
That's wild.
So that was a really, really dope moment. So now going back, because the entire time that I've told you guys about all of the dope shit that I've done, not once have I mentioned money.
That's true, though.
That's true.
Not once did I
Not a
mention
deal,
money.
not nothing. You're right.
And the one time you did want money, you jumped in the pool.
Bro.
You're right.
From that music video, that Aloe Blacc music video with Stone's Throw, I got paid a bottle of Hennessy. And then a few days later, they call me and they're like, yo, after the first shoot day, they're like, hey, we got to keep shooting, but we got to shoot the other part in L.A. I've never been to LA before, I ever, you know, and I was like, all right, like and I'm freaking out because I'm like, I don't got no money, like
LA.
how am I gonna get to LA? And they were like, nah, we'll take care of it. We'll fly you out. You're gonna stay with the director, blah blah blah. This and that. So I went out to LA for 3-4 days. First time out there, that shit was wild. Just to finish the second half of this music video, and that within itself, like those were core memory moments, right? Like, so that first night in LA, I'm sleeping on the couch in this director's crib in a real like LA like house, like, you know, y'all watch Snowfall, you know how like all the houses, the palm trees and all that shit. It's one of those cribs, yo, like, and so I'm like, all right, whatever. And he's taking me throughout all of LA. I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I put hot sauce on my chicken for the first time. Chicken and waffle for the first time. I never thought that hot sauce and maple syrup was like a thing. It's so good. So good. And that night, I ended up going to the Viper Room. Now, the Viper Room is an iconic venue in LA that's been there since the early 90s, and it's owned by Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
It's since closed down just recently, about a year or two ago.
From the trial.
All the artists used to go and shoot up heroin in there.
Oh, got it.
But a lot of up-and-coming artists used to go and perform for the first time there. So I go to the Viper Room that night to go see this artist, and I was like, I never heard of her before. And the director, his name was Khalil. He's like, yo, she's super dope, man. She's super dope. Her name is Janelle Monáe.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right, whatever.
She's so cool.
Yo, and that was the first time I ever heard of Janelle Monáe. First time I saw Janelle Monáe. Yo, she came, and the Viper Room is a small spot. It has a stage, it has a little bit of a, little dancing area or whatever. Yo, she came out through the like side door, carried in by like 6 niggas. She was wearing all black. Everybody was wearing like these black cloaks.
I love that.
It was,
I love her aesthetic.
yo, it was an experience. Yo, I was right there. I was right in front of her. And then all that, I'm giving you this story, all that to say is that never say no to any opportunity, man. Like, every opportunity is important. Every conversation has value. And you never know where it's going to take you. Because of all of this series of events that took place personally, none of these things were professional. These were all things that I was doing because I love being in front of the camera and I love creating. All of that ended up becoming experiences that helped me professionally, within my career. So in the beginning, when I said, yo, when I got out of college, all I knew was like, I just want to be in entertainment. You start that point on that pencil starts to refine over time because of those experiences. And so I'm like, yo, I've been on so many productions and so many sets, and I've worked with so many different people. I understand the hierarchy of what it is to be on an actual set for a commercial, for a music video, for whatever. You start taking all of these things and you amass all that experience, and like this becomes what you want to do. And so that, like, fast forward into where I am now is like, holy shit, I've taken all of the shit that I love, and this is what I'm doing now. I'm making content.
Yeah.
I'm making content.
Yeah.
I'm storytelling, and I'm behind the camera. But the opportunities that I do have to be in front of the camera, I wow the fuck out of people. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. I'm ready at any point, you know? And when I get those opportunities and people see me in those situations, that's when it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you working at a corporate office when you should be here? You know what I'm saying? Doing this in front of the camera.
I will share this, and not to cut you off, but I will share this because, one, we're short on time, but two, you said something the other day during one of our meetings, and because you and Jeff had recently been
say how it is. Say how it is. Jeff and I both got laid off.
Oh fuck.
So we've been first of all, I think if you guys watch the news, you know every single company has been doing massive layoffs for the past 6-7 months now, right? So unfortunately, we got hit with it. Both of our companies like laid us off, and so now we're like, we're not doing anything, and I'm spending most of my day like on LinkedIn applying for jobs. But then it's like I come into situations with Ron, you know, and I'm sitting down, we having a meeting, and it is the most productive meeting that I've had because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm doing something that I'm passionate about and I care about, and I'm putting pen to paper, and even it's just as simple as like just breaking down a timeline, a work back schedule, and you're just like, nah, this is what I should be doing. And why am I doing this for somebody else when I could be doing this for myself? You know? So
in the meeting, he goes, because they now, like, it's confirmed they're both, you know, the casualties of the economic system, and
well put.
and
casualties.
and he goes, Jeff, remember when we told ourselves, let's stop doing a podcast for these jobs we got?
I could start doing it again.
What a fucking stupid idea that was.
And that was the thing. Yo, it's so strange, and it's very serendipitous because, so with our podcast, you know, shout out to the smartest guys in the room, when we stopped, we've taken a year-long hiatus.
Damn.
Wow.
And it was only because Jeff and I started these brand new jobs.
Fuck.
And so I was like, all right,
there.
I need a little bit of, we both needed some time to get acclimated and start like being able to become assets within where we were. And then I travel a lot for work and shit like that. So it was like, damn, we don't really have time to do the podcast thing. It's all right. Fine. We'll focus on this. Stupidest thing we ever did. The dumbest thing we ever did.
Never jump back on the podcast.
And now we're bringing it back, but it just goes to show you that, like, do not limit yourself to just trying to put all your eggs in this one basket. Like, if you have any inkling of being creative whatsoever, answer that call, yo. Answer that call and be consistent and keep going with it. Because if you're passionate about this more than you are about your 9 to 5, yo, invest your time here.
You're right.
But you could do both. Going back to what I was saying, I love the duality of Superman because he can do both. You can do both. We can all do both.
Yeah,
you know, so that to me is so important. And I think we forget, we get tripped up and we get overwhelmed, and it's like, yo, take it easy.
Yeah.
Regulate your thoughts, you know, like,
Usa,
you know, but you can manage to do so much more than what you're not your job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you're so much more than that.
You're right.
So yeah, now here we are. We bringing it back.
We gonna bring it back.
We bringing it back.
Bring it back.
I'm producing this shit, so it's gonna pop off. I ain't gonna let it fucking not be consistent.
And you're gonna benefit off of the year and a half of everything that he's learned. Yeah,
It's true.
I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take that shit and we're gonna fucking make it happen in 1 month.
You're in good hands. You're in good hands.
Experiences sometimes way more than cash.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
at some point they turn into cash.
No, it will turn into cash.
Trick right there.
This will definitely be a 2-parter episode. so with that said, We're gonna wrap it up. Dre Drizzle.
Yes.
My brother Just O. Thank you very much for coming through, man. I appreciate you so much. For a man that had nothing to say, you had a whole world of knowledge and experience to share. So I appreciate you, baby. The always lovely, honorable Lady H. You know I love you. Thank you very much for your patience. And this is Ron Kane. This is Just Words. Nobody care. We love you. Thank you for taking the time and listening. Have a wonderful day.
Let's go.